Good morning, everyone, and a happy Hanukkah. We're all familiar with the Hanukkah story. A small group of Jews, the Maccabees, went to fight against the Greeks. God made a miracle. They won the war. They went into the temple. They cleaned it up. They found a little flask of oil. It was only supposed to light for one night. It lasted for 8 days. Miracle. We celebrate Hanukkah by eating oily food and lighting the candles for 8 days. Beautiful. But I want to take a step back. Why did the Jewish people fight against the Greeks? And the answer is because the Greeks were spiritually persecuting them. They didn't allow them to keep the Torah. But what were some of those decrees that they decreed against the Jewish people? So the Talmud tells us there's many decrees, but there are three main decrees that the Talmud points out. One is Shabbat. Makes sense. Shabbat is us who recognize that God created the world. Two, Brit Milah. It's our covenant with Abraham. A very important mitzvah. Three is sanctifying the new moon. The commentary that's like, why that one? Sanctifying the new moon. Yes, every Rosh Chodesh, witnesses would come and say, oh, today's Rosh Chodesh. So it's very important to make sure that we know when our holidays are, because our holidays all work with the moon. It's true. But why they picked that? Like, why was that something they decided to pick? Yom Kippur, kosher. I mean, there's so many other important things. And I heard this beautiful idea once, which I want to share with you. The Rosh Chodesh is much deeper than just what we think. Rosh Chodesh represents the idea of renewal. Why do the Jewish people sanctify the moon? Why do we work with a lunar calendar, not a solar calendar? Because the sun is always constant, always in the same place. It never changes. Doing the same thing day in and day out, and that's beautiful. The moon, the way we see it, is big in the middle of the month, gets smaller, disappears, and then comes back and starts again. The idea of renewal. The idea is that we're not perfect. The idea is that we have our ups and our downs. But we always are able to start up again. The new moon is the beginning of the moon starting to get big, the way we see it, from our view on Earth. Is a reminder that even when we're in our low state, even if we're spiritually low, emotionally low, physically low, and so many other hardships in our lives, we always have the ability to renew, to start again. And the Greeks knew that if the Jewish people had this energy with them, it doesn't make a difference how many decrees they made against them. They steeped to the lowest levels of spirituality, but as long as they had Rosh Chodesh, a year, 2, 3, they would bounce back up. The power of renewal. And that's why we go with the lunar calendar. My friends, it's a tremendous lesson to learn during these dark times that we're living in. Hopefully we see a light at the end of the tunnel. All the hardships that people are going through, but the spiritual hardships that people are going through also. So let's all realize that we have the power to renewal. It doesn't make a difference how low we've steeped, how much hardship we've had. But Hanukkah, that small little light, lit for 8 days. Rosh Chodesh reminds us that that moon crest starts again. We could always start again, never give up. Wishing everyone a beautiful day and a happy Hanukkah.